They say every soul on earth is watched by unseen eyes, some filled with light, and others cloaked in shadows. But last night, something unthinkable happened. One of heaven's guardians vanished. No sound, no trace, no light left behind. Only a whisper carried through the night wind. The devil took his wings. It began in a quiet town that never knew what hid beyond its prayers. The church bells had stopped ringing weeks ago, and people said the silence felt heavier than the night itself. Among them lived a young man named Eli, a quiet soul who spent his nights looking at the stars, wondering why he always felt someone watching him. He didn't know that his life was about to become the center of a war that began long before time. That night, the sky was strange. No moon, no sound of crickets, just a thick stillness. Eli woke up from a dream he couldn't remember, with feathers scattered across his floor, glowing faintly, like they carried the memory of heaven. But they were cold, and one of them had turned black at the edges, as if light itself had been burned away. Across the world, an old priest in Rome felt the same chill. His candle went out without wind, and the pages of his Bible turned to a verse he'd never seen before. The words spoke of a guardian who fell, not because of sin, but because he had something the devil could never steal: mercy. Eli didn't know that this angel had been watching over him since birth, protecting him from the darkness that whispered his name every night. But when the angel disappeared, something else took his place. Shadows moved differently. Lights flickered when he prayed. And in his dreams, a voice began to speak, deep, calm, and cold, promising him answers if he just listened. No one believed Eli when he said he saw wings made of smoke over the old church tower. No one heard the low hum beneath the ground when he passed. But deep inside, he felt the truth: heaven had lost one of its own. And somewhere beyond the stars, the devil had gained something more dangerous than power: a broken angel who remembered love. The night the angel vanished was only the beginning. A storm was coming, not of fire, but of choices, between faith and doubt, between what is light and what only pretends to be. And as Eli stepped outside into the whispering darkness, the last feather on his windowsill turned to ash. Something had crossed over, and it was looking for him. Eli couldn't sleep that night. Every time he closed his eyes, he felt a weight pressing down on his chest, like the air itself was trying to speak. The feather that had turned to ash still left a faint shimmer on his windowsill, glowing and fading with every heartbeat. Outside, the world was silent, but he could sense movement, soft, almost human, but not quite. He whispered a prayer, though he wasn't sure who was listening anymore. By morning, the small town had changed. Birds refused to fly over the church steeple, and dogs barked at empty streets. People said the air smelled of rain, though no clouds were in the sky. Eli walked through the quiet town square, noticing something strange: faint symbols drawn in dust on the ground, like someone had traced wings with trembling hands. He remembered the stories his mother used to tell him, that angels leave signs before great change, and devils hide truth in beauty. Meanwhile, in a far-off monastery, the old priest who'd seen the mysterious verse had begun his own search. He found records of celestial disappearances that were never spoken of, guardians who fell not by choice, but by force. His letters, written in urgency, mentioned a mark of light fading into shadow, a sign that heaven's barrier was weakening. And each time he prayed for strength, he felt the same cold whisper Eli had heard, one that promised revelation but demanded silence. As evening fell, Eli saw a figure near the edge of the woods, still glowing faintly, as if unsure which world it belonged to. He took a step closer, heart pounding. The figure lifted its head. Its eyes were neither light nor dark. They were something in between, something lost. And then it spoke his name. Eli froze as the figure stepped out from the mist. The faint glow around it flickered like a candle in the wind. His breath caught when he saw the faint outline of broken wings, torn but still shimmering faintly with light that refused to die. The air grew colder, heavy with something sacred yet unsettling. The figure's voice was soft, almost human. It said his name again, not as a question, but as if it had always known him. Eli tried to speak, but his voice failed. The figure looked toward the sky as if listening to something distant. "They're searching for me," it whispered, but not to save. Its words sent a chill down Eli's spine. The realization struck him. This was the angel that had vanished, the one everyone thought lost to darkness. But why had it come to him? Why now? The ground trembled slightly beneath his feet. A low hum began to spread through the air, vibrating through the trees, the walls, even his heartbeat. The angel flinched as if the sound caused pain. "He knows," it murmured, eyes darting toward the church steeple that now glowed faintly red under the night sky. "The devil knows I came back." Eli wanted to run, but his body wouldn't move. The shadows around them began to shift, bending toward the light that surrounded the angel, almost trying to consume it. The feathers that had fallen from its wings started to rise again, glowing brighter, spinning like a storm around them. The angel looked at Eli, eyes filled with sorrow and fear. "You were never meant to see this," it said. Then, the sky split with a sound like thunder, light and darkness colliding in one blinding flash. And in that moment, everything went silent. When the light faded, Eli found himself kneeling on the cold ground, surrounded by silence. The angel was gone. Only a faint shimmer lingered in the air, like dust made of stars. His ears rang from the sudden quiet, and when he looked up, the church steeple stood dark again. Its red glow vanished as if it had never been. For a moment, he wondered if everything had been a dream, until he noticed the mark on his wrist. It was faint, shaped like a feather, pulsing gently with light. He tried to wipe it off, but the light grew brighter instead, spreading faintly through his veins. Panic rose in his chest. Something had passed from the angel to him. He could feel it, warmth and weight at the same time, like carrying a secret not meant for mortal hands. His surroundings began to change. Whispers filled the air, but they weren't coming from outside. They were inside his mind, fragments of words he didn't understand, ancient, echoing, pulling him toward the church. Inside the church, candles lit themselves one by one. The old wooden cross on the altar cracked down the middle, revealing a hidden chamber beneath. Eli stepped closer, drawn by something he couldn't resist. In the darkness below, he saw faint writings carved into stone. A prophecy about the chosen witness, a human bound to the fallen to restore balance between heaven and the underworld. His name was written there, carved long before his birth. At that same moment, the old priest thousands of miles away felt a force shake his room. The verse in his Bible glowed again, but this time a new line appeared. The wings were not taken, they were given. Realization struck both of them in that same heartbeat. The angel hadn't been captured. It had chosen to surrender its wings, to hide something inside Eli, something both heaven and hell were searching for. Outside, the sky began to flicker between day and night, as if time itself was struggling to hold its shape. Eli looked out the church window and saw two stars moving against the sky, one bright, one dark, drawing closer together. And somewhere deep inside him, the voice returned. This time it didn't whisper. It said, "They've found you."